Good morning. Good morning. Let me get everything situated. All right, I believe we're going live. Let me pull this up on my phone. Where are we here? All right. Oh, where is it? Here we go. All right, I believe we're. All right, one more thing. All right, and then let me add it to here. All right, perfect. Sorry, sometimes that takes a little longer than other times, but here we are. It's a beautiful day, a great day to be alive. And like I always say, if you open up your eyes in the morning, you've got a ton of things to be grateful for because not everybody had that opportunity. And so, really quick, before I get started, I want to apologize to everybody in the Stand Up and Stand Out community because I tweaked some of the calendar invite. And when I did, for some reason, the thing that hit everybody's email was unclicked. I do not know how. And so everybody's email showed, and I do apologize for that. And there were a few people that were very upset about it. I went ahead and removed them from the calendar, and and it's always been clicked, and just changing one or two things, and suddenly it was gone. So I'm working on getting that rectified. If nothing else, I'll just delete the whole doggone thing, and we'll start over from square one. So if you're up a little upset this morning because you got several emails and the emails had the everybody else's email in there, like I said, I apologize. It's just a little thing that happened as I was changing the title and changing the time and doing all of those things. So once again, I apologize. And if you want to be removed from the calendar, just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to do that. It's no big deal. It's quite easy to do, and so I have been doing that this morning. And the people that their email is not active anymore, I remove them. So once again, I apologize. So all right. So let me go ahead and look and see where we are with all of this. And I'm going to go ahead and grab our affirmation, and we're going to start with that. All right. Let's see if all of it shows up in one spot. Yes. All right. So today's affirmation, and I appreciate, I did send a message out, and I posted in the group that I had changed the time today. So it's at 10 a.m. Eastern instead of our 3 p.m. Eastern, because I have a course that I'm taking today. And I didn't realize it started at the time that it did. And so I would have told you when we talked on Friday. I was busy and didn't notice. So anyway, here we are. So our affirmation for today, and this comes from a lot of the things that I saw people were saying and the people were talking about in a lot of areas that I'm involved in. And so I wanted to make sure that I address this because this is important to me too, right? It's something I have to remind myself of, especially when there's a snafu and somebody's not happy. That's when it's like, you know? So the affirmation for today is my gifts are not small or accidental. They are powerful, meaningful, and deeply needed. I honor the impact I have and allow my heart to expand with purpose. And so it's really, really important for us to remind ourselves that not only do we have gifts and talents, but it's important to share them because there's an impact that people are looking for the solution that you have, even if it's just a friend asking for advice. It doesn't always have to be a business venture that you're in. Maybe you're not a coach, but one of the things way before I became a coach, people were always asking me for advice about all kinds of things, right? And I was always, whatever I knew about the subject, I was helpful with them. So for those that don't know, I've been a hairstylist for way over 30 years. And I coached my clients all the time. So if you go to visit your hairstylist and you are having a conversation and they help you walk through and talk through something, that's a coach, right? They're just not getting paid extra for it, because for years and years and years, I did this with my clients. And then as I got to a certain place in my life, I decided to become a coach. And that's another story we'll go into another time. Some of you have already heard it before. But you, no matter whether you are a certified coach or whether your business as a coach, you're a coach to someone. Maybe it's a family member or your children. It could be just when you're out generally having a conversation and somebody says something and you have something golden that you can add to the conversation that might help someone. Do it, right? A lot of times we hold ourselves back because we think that what we're talking about is not impactful, or it's and one of the things I put in the Mining Your Acres of Diamonds group in a post just yesterday or today, I don't remember which it is, was that how many times do we use the words I just, because we forget that it is not that we just anything. The things that comes easy to us are an amazing gift for others, right? So maybe you just know exactly what to say to make someone feel a little bit happier. That's not a just. That is an amazing gift, right? But and we will say, or some of us will say, well, I just shared. I just told a story. I just said what was in my heart. I just listened. That's a big thing, right? But those are actual, powerful, meaningful, and deeply needed, right? So my gifts are not small or accidental. They are powerful, meaningful, and deeply needed. And I honor the impact I have and allow my heart to expand with purpose. Because every time we say or do something that helps someone, it's like our heart space just expands out a little bit more. And it allows us to feel deeply, right? And it helps the other person be able to expand their heart. And the thing is if everybody's heart is expanding and connecting, oh, what a much better place the world is, right? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the journal prompt here. I know this one's a long one, so I'll have to fill you in on what's missing, I'll tell you. All right, here we go. So your journal prompt is, in what ways have you been downplaying your gifts or the way you support others? Like I said, have you been saying, well, I just listened? No biggie. But if you knew how important it is to be able to listen to someone without constantly be in your thoughts about what you're going to say next, what brilliance are you going to bring forth? Just a listening ear, holy smokes. I'm telling you, people are craving someone who listens. So if you're just, well, I just listened, it's a beautiful gift. Don't do a downplaying of your gifts anymore. And maybe your gift is that I just shared a story. So we're back to the I just. How are you downplaying your gifts, right? Is it in that conversation where you say, well, I want you to really tap into this. And there's so many ways that we downplay our gifts or the way that we support others. We can say, not only the I just, oh, it was no big deal. What do you say? And then I want you to write about a time when someone, anyone, was genuinely helped or inspired by you. And we know no matter who you are, there is going to be someone who was genuinely helped or inspired by you. And, a lot of times we inspire people that we have no clue they're even watching. And so you can just imagine. I've had people reach out to me before. I don't even know who the heck they are. And they said, I loved when you said this because it helped me do this. And it's like, wow, I don't even remember when I said that. And I would even say, well, what about when I said that was important to you? Because it's like, I don't even remember. Because when it's not rehearsed, you say things and you don't remember. So that's probably you too. Somebody says something to you, you get into a conversation, you share something, you have a funny story, you have a little clip at the end where you're saying, and that's why but then you go on about your business and you don't even recognize the difference that you could have made in someone's life. Sometimes it's in passing. It's not that you set out to inspire them, but you did. So write about a time when someone was genuinely helped or inspired by you. What would it feel like to fully own the warmth, love, and contribution you bring into the world? What would it feel like? And that's an important one, because when we can tap into the feelings of something, then we can create that within us. And then as we create that warmth, that feeling within us, for, like I like to say, happy for no reason, when you can be there and own the fact that you have gifts and talents that people are searching for, and that people are being genuinely helped and inspired by you, even when you don't know it, when you can tap into all of that and own it, that's when you see all the evidence out here begin to change. Because as we talk about it a lot, is that we are inundated with 50 billion bits of information per second. Everything in our environment, in the world, in the universe, emits a frequency and energy. And there is absolutely no way that we could handle all of that frequency, that energy coming at us. If we noticed every single thing, we would go bonkers. So our beautiful, brilliant minds narrow all the frequency down to 2,000 bits of information per second. Huge difference, right? And how does it know what to focus on? It's what we focus on, what we believe inside about us and about the world. That's what brings the evidence to us. It's like when you watch the news. Now, the news, if you think about it, there are so many things that happen in the world. Well, they just pick out the ones that are going to get them ratings, and so that's their 2,000 bits. They want ratings. They want people to be glued to the TV they want to watch. So they find all the things in the news that are going to create that, right? And so we do the same thing. We are looking for our 2,000 bits, or what's going to support what we want or what we believe about ourselves. So if you believe that the world is a horrible place and that everybody's out to get everybody, you're going to see evidence of that everywhere you look, everywhere. But if you believe that the world is an amazing place, filled with opportunities, filled with people who love people, filled with people supporting people, then your 2,000 bits are going to support that. And so look around. What is it that you see in your world? What is the evidence that is showing up for you? And then that will help you to see what your 2,000 bits are about. And the really, really important and cool thing is you can change your 2,000 bits. And doing these affirmations and journal prompts are the beginning of getting you there. And so sometimes it takes a little more work, but is it worth it? Hell yeah, right? So the thing is, start noticing. So I give you a challenge. So for this week, all the rest of the week, I want you to notice what's showing up in your world. Are you all of a sudden starting to see opportunities show up, people that you haven't seen in a while, happy to see you? Are you seeing happiness and joy for no reason? What are you seeing in your world? What are you feeling? Maybe you're feeling a little angst about something that's going on in your world, and then you're getting a little bit more of things to be anxious about. So pay attention. Just don't judge and critique, but just play with it and see. For the rest of this week, just notice what's showing up, what your thought patterns are. Start journaling about that. All the evidence that's showing up is an indicator, an indicator. What is it? It's also evidence of what's going on. And once you can see what's happening, you can change what's happening. It all comes from what is your focus? Like I said, 50 billion bits of information per second, narrowed down to 2,000 bits of information. Be on purpose with what your 2,000 bits are. It will change your life. So spend a week logging what's showing up for me. What's happening? And it doesn't matter whether, don't even start giving it a label like good or bad. Don't give it a label. Just write it down, note it, and see. So that at the end of the week, you can look and see the majority of things that I have been noticing in my world are this, have this feeling, this emotion to it. And if it's what you want, just expand on it, make it bigger, right? Have it grow. But if it's a lot of things that you don't want, then just evaluate and look at it and say, well, when all this was happening, where was I inside? Where were my thoughts going? When nobody was talking to me, when I had that quiet space, what was my thought pattern? And just really, really dive in. If you want to change your world, this is an amazing way to begin. All right, so let's go back to our affirmation. Our affirmation is, my gifts are not small or accidental. They are powerful, meaningful, and deeply needed. They are powerful, meaningful, and deeply needed. I honor the impact I have, and I allow my heart to expand with purpose. Now put that on your index card, the screensaver on your phone, your sticky notes. Put it somewhere that you will see it. Put it somewhere that you can utilize this. Put it somewhere. You'll see it. So then let's go to our journal prompt. And as I always recommend, to get out your notebook, get out your journal, write down the date, the affirmation, the journal prompt, because they are supporting one another, and you want to get all the support you can have, right? And then say them out loud with feeling. Have a timer set for 10 to 15 minutes, and then set the timer and just tap into the silence. Tap into that inner guidance, that inner knowing, that gut, your guide voice, your intuition, your subconscious, your superconscious. It's all there. And most of the times we don't hear a thing because we've got too much chatter going on in our minds. And so focus on your breath, getting that still quietness, And you don't have to be saying the affirmation. You don't have to be saying the journal prompt. All you have to do is just tap into your breathing. And as your mind starts to wander and chatter, as it will, because we are human, as soon as you notice it, you just come back to your breath. And you keep doing that till the timer goes off. And when the timer goes off, you pick up your pen, your pencil, and you just start writing whatever ever comes into your mind. Don't critique it. Don't judge it. Don't discredit it. Just write. And I'm telling you, if you tap into that inner voice, that inner knowing, that God voice, and you write the answers to these questions, you're going to get some gold coming at you. I'm telling you, you will. And then, like I said, take it a step further. And for the entire week, spend some time each day looking at what's showing up in your world. You could even get a piece of paper and put 2 columns, like what I want, what I don't want. And then you can just start looking. And is what showing up what you don't want? Is what showing up what you do want? And then you can look at it and say, well, there's more things showing up that I do want than what I don't want. So I want to expand on this side, right? But if there's more things showing up that you don't want in your life and fewer things that you do want, you got to really do a tweak, a shift. Because you can do this. I was just messaging with someone earlier today, and she was saying she had been, her business had been amazing. She was doing $100,000 a year, and she had this massive goal of going to $300,000 a year. But no matter what she did, she stayed at $100,000. And so I was messaging with her, and I said, well, the biggest thing is that I can see is that you have your financial thermostat set at 100,000. I said, but I would really be curious of that 100,000, how much of it's profit? Because we want to be working on the profit. And I learned this a long time ago. I set my goal of making, I remember it's been years ago, and I set a goal. I wanted to make $75,000. And so the thing was, I did. However, all the things that were pulled out of that money, I still only had like 50,000 of profit, right? And it was like, well, that doesn't seem right. So I started tweaking it. Instead of saying I want to make 75,000, I want 75,000 in profit. And then it just climbs from there. The thing is that most of the time, like, there are people that make a lot of money. They do. But all the things that they do to create that income cost as well. And so when it's all said and done, they've really only paid for a business to function. They haven't really come and brought some home for them, right? And so we want to be looking at things as far as what we really want. And so what she really wanted was to have a lot more money, right? And she wasn't having it. So I told her, I said, it's time to reset your thermostat. So she was going back, and she's going to evaluate her what money's coming in, how much is going out, what is her actual profit. And like I told her, I said, I bet you if you get up to $300,000 like you want, I said, you're still only going to have that little bit of profit that you have now, because the only thing that's changed is you're hustling more. And you got to get that thermostat changed. And so that's one of the things that we'll be working on, is helping to get her thermostat changed. So I invite you, look at your world and see, what is it that you want to change in your world? So back to our journal prompt. I got a little distracted. I'm sorry. In what ways have you been downplaying your gifts or the way you support others? Write about a time when someone was genuinely helped or inspired by you. That's really, really important. And then you could even create um, a folder of all the people that you've helped and get a document in there. You could create a folder on your computer. You could create a folder in your notes. You could have a folder. I have a folder that just sits over there, and I put in that information every time someone gives me an affirmation, not an affirmation, gives me a testimonial. I put it in a folder, and I have a folder on my computer as well, because sometimes I also need to be reminded, right, about a time when someone was genuinely helped or inspired by me. And a lot of those are just general conversations, not necessarily that we had a money exchange, right? Because even the calendar calls that I do, where we do like a 15 or 30-minute conversation, every single one of those, somebody comes out with some positive things to work on, right? Some positive, not just things to work on, but uncovering some things that will help them, right? So each one of those goes in my folder too. So if you're someone who needs a little bit of help with that, definitely reach out. Let's have a conversation. I love having those conversations. I would love to have more of them. And then whether you choose to hire me to work with you or not, invest in what I do, that doesn't matter. What matters is what you need. If I can help you, I'm more than happy to do that. Do I offer things for sale and invest in my services? Yes, I do. But if you decide that it's not a good fit for you or it's not the right time, that's okay. There's no obligation. I just love having the conversations. So I will put a link to my calendar in the comments. And if I've said anything today that has piqued your interest, made you feel like maybe I'd like to talk about that, then definitely reach out. Let's have a conversation. I would love, love, love to talk to you. All right. So you guys have an amazingly blessed day filled with genuine inspiration. And I will see you on Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Mwah.